You know, it's so funny because since I kind of started to do this YouTube and more people have kind of started to watch the channel, I talk to a hell of a lot more people outside of the channel. Like, I think a lot of you know I'm a spiritual mindset coach, and I help people kind of out here as I talk to them and stuff. Anyway, lots of people are always talking to me, and something that I notice quite often that goes on is people are always wanting to correct me. They're always kind of wanting to fix me and fix my life because I live in a caravan that's very cold and whatnot. And although the environment down there is not ideal and it's not practical, and should I start earning lots of money through YouTube or a coaching business or whatever else I do, ebooks, etc., nothing would really actually change in my life. I might buy a new caravan that could hold heat, if you like, or hold it for longer. No caravan's going to be ideal with that stuff, but I would put maybe heaters in there. I'd maybe get some better insulation. The caravan would be swapped over and changed around and get something else. Anyway, I kind of just wanted to throw this thing out there that just a little observation that I've made over the last few months. When people are trying to fix me and tell me how to get on with my life and what I should do and etc., the one thing that they all say to me that kind of surprises me is they're all telling me that what they couldn't do, i.e. I could never live like that, Tobe. I could never live without heat. I could never go without running water. I couldn't leave my job and be vulnerable to the world and do something what you're doing. I haven't got the time to write. I haven't got the time to do this. I think you get the picture. Their life is full of I can'ts. And guys, as always with me, when I say their life, I sometimes get worried that the way that I may say things comes across as though I'm pointing out this thing of us and them, if you like. And it really isn't, so it is just a term. But them people, they're the ones who are saying that they can't, whereas I'm the one who's actually here and can. My life is full of I can. And it's a wonderful thing that I've kind of discovered about myself, and I think this is going to be available. Well, it's available to everyone, but it's definitely going to be available for you guys who are kind of going through that transformation period. You know, you're transitioning into your higher state of consciousness, into your new self, and it's a wonderful place to be, because I just want to quickly tap on this. There's not an end point to your consciousness, if you like, your awakenedness. That's such a stupid word, but there's no end to that. It just keeps growing and growing and growing. But the beautiful part is that as you grow, your life changes and your life develops. And also, guys, as your life changes and develops, etc., you will find new areas in yourself. And finding those new areas in yourself will take you to then resolve those areas or try and understand those areas. And that's where you might find that you dip down slightly sometimes. And you can go back down whilst you're kind of, your natural instincts, if you like, your natural consciousness is pushing out the parts of you that it doesn't need. It's pushing out the parts that you don't need and providing you with stuff that you do need in order to then live a life of I can. You know, and I'm in a very reflective mood today. I think you can probably tell. And I like it when I get like this, by the way. I have many different moods, guys. It's another thing someone said to me. I was chatting yesterday to him in a pub, funny enough. I very rarely go in pubs now, but I was in a pub and having a coffee and I was chatting to them. And they said to me that I always seem to be quite stable all through life. Whenever they meet me, I seem to be the kind of same. And I'm always like, that's really odd, because I go through lots of different stages. I can have days where I'm very up and very excited about life and about things and about where I'm going and what's happening. I get all these wonderful inspirations and ideas of doing podcasts and writing books and you know, all this wonderful stuff, traveling around the world. And then I have other days like today where I'm very reflective, very quiet, feel very content. And days like today, I'll often focus a lot on, and I'm not necessarily doing this on purpose, although I do take time out of my days to make sure I reflect on me. I think that's so important across humanity. I don't think enough of us do that. We get so wrapped up with earning money and trying to prove to the world that we're really good, or to ourselves that we're really good through our status, if you like, or our validation of ourselves, etc. that we forget to often sit back and maybe just ask ourselves, how am I? How am I really? You know, not how am I, yeah, I'm doing okay, you know, work's going all right and fitness is going well. No, how am I? How are you? And that's what I have these days for, and I'm just out in nature, and you've seen this place, I've shown you this before. There's a little lake behind me, a little lake there, and there's some swans in there and ducks and stuff like that. So that's kind of where I'm sat. But I think it's so important because days like today, I like to kind of focus on the parts of my life that I feel like I might be making mistakes on. You know, what part, I make sure that the parts, if there's a part of my life that maybe isn't growing and I'd like it to grow, I like to try and focus on not necessarily what is not working in life, but what am I not doing here? What habit am I stuck in with my thought processes that is keeping me stuck from doing that particular thing, if you like? I'm trying to give you a scenario, but I can't really think of one. It's and again, some days I have days where my analogies, as you know, can be quite funny and they can be quite good and together, and in other days they're not there. And again, it's just that whole difference of being. I think your consciousness works at different levels. The consciousness is the same all the way through life, pretty much, but that doesn't mean that the downloaded, constructed mind that we've had in ourselves isn't going to appear from time to time and throw a spanner in the works and make life a little bit harder than maybe it needs to be. But that's always good because it then takes you back into that mind and makes you remember that, oh yeah, the mind can really hold us back. With its beliefs, its traditional beliefs, generational beliefs, etc., it can really hold us back. So it's a nice reminder sometime when maybe the ego does fire up and gets hold of us, we can take that time to sit back and observe that mind, observe those thoughts. I digress there slightly, I know. It's because sometimes I just walk around and I just think, you know what, I feel like recording a video. There's be a few things that I'm kind of seeing, and I like to kind of share that with you guys. But I think that's an important one to notice, is when people are talking to you about life, about your life, if you're wanting to do new things, that listen out for those parts of them that keep saying that they couldn't, or they shouldn't, or they wouldn't, or they can't, or they haven't, i.e. I haven't got the time, I could never go without heating, I could never just walk away from my job, etc. All the things people want to tell us when people are trying to rectify our lives, they tell us about what it is in their life that they can't do. And this is the important thing to understand. They're telling you what they can't do because they've got an ideology of how their life should be. But their ideology doesn't necessarily need to marry up with your ideology of life. And if I could give a little bit of advice here, this is advice that works for me, guys. You guys have to make up your own mind of what I say. You take from it what you like and disregard the bits that don't. These are just conversations most of the time. But I do spend, I think a lot of you have become aware of that with me now, that I spend a hell of a lot of my time living the life that I preach, if you like. But if I could offer one little piece of advice that I think would help a lot of you is trying to stay focused with, there is no ideology. If you're stuck rigid to an ideology of how you think your life should be, anything less than reaching that ideology is going to become painful to you, or frustrating, or keep you in a loop of suffering, if you like. Or it will prevent you from maybe tapping into new areas of your mind and thinking about different things in life. It's so interesting. I like days like this, when it's like this, really kind of peaceful and calm, and it's quite cold out as well, but it's nice. It's a nice cold. There's a nice wind going through the air, so everything feels fresh and whatever else. But hang on. But getting back to the video a little bit, I always kind of feel like people, when they're telling me that they can't, I always kind of feel a bit for them. You know, that I'm like, how you can't do these things? You're still living in that prison. You're still living in a confine of what the constructed mind has told you to do. You're still observing your beliefs. You're still observing your traditional beliefs, generational beliefs. You're still observing the education system that's just absolute nonsense now. You know, is there anything at school that kids learn, barring maybe a bit of English, maths and basic science maybe, that would hold them in any value in society? I really don't know. Everything's available on the phone, but we don't teach people to use the phone wisely, if you like. We just keep scrolling and using it for nonsense. Not in all cases, guys. You know, I am going to digress off in my, not in all cases, but that's just one area. And again, I could be totally wrong. Who am I to decide what's right and wrong anyway? You know, who are any of us to decide that? Is part of a problem that I've always had really with society, is how does one person get to dictate to other people what's going on? And that's why I think I wanted this channel to be called Truth Be With You, was just, let me just share my truths as I see them in that day, or as I see them in that moment. Could change tomorrow, and that's fine. Just because you live free of that ideology, you live free of those confines. This video's really going all over the place, but that's pretty cool. I think sometimes if we have this ideology, we can create an identity to go with that ideology of ourselves, and then we find it hard to stray away from that identity. I.e., you guys, if you know me as the sort of spiritual guy who does YouTube videos on Dark Night of the Soul, if I really attach myself to being that guy, it means I can never diversify away and actually be anyone different from that, because I'd feel like I'm letting you guys down, you know, or I'd feel like I'm letting myself down, or, you know, I have over 1,000 subscribers of people who want me to be that guy. But I ultimately think what a lot of you guys want, going by the emails I receive and that, is for me to remain kind of who I am. Talk about Dark Night of the Soul, talk about spirituality, but you also like to see the side of me that's not so perfect. And God, I am far from perfect, guys, honestly. But I think that's an important thing. So it gives me that, not having the ideology is what I'm trying to get at here. It leaves me the freedom to kind of pivot. Seems to be a bit of a catchword lately, but I can pivot, I can maneuver my life around, I can adapt. If I want to try something new, I can do that and then upload that and share it with you guys, or not. You know, it's not, I don't kind of attach or identify myself as a YouTuber, although I guess I am really. If there's a title to put somewhere, I guess that would be it. I'm a YouTuber, or content creator, or I try to be a content creator. But I kind of just wanted to share all that with you. I feel like a lot of people, when they see me and someone said to me the other day, this might interest you, someone said to me the other day when we was chatting away, they said, oh, I don't seem very happy at the moment, what's the matter? And I said, oh, there's nothing the matter. I said, I now don't feel the need to act in a certain way to go along with how we think we should be in order to get someone else's approval. So I don't need to walk around acting happy. That doesn't mean I'm not happy. It doesn't mean I'm sad. It doesn't mean I'm joyful. Maybe on that day I just feeling whatever I'm feeling and I act however I'm feeling. And that's what I mean about not having the ideology. And it's fascinating stuff. And guys, let me just reiterate, I'm not saying that my ways are perfect, but what I do know that I do very well is I know how to live my life for me. You know, and that's what I try and give across to you guys, is to develop your own ways, develop your standards, however they are for you. Whatever kind of things, your beliefs that you might be feeling in those moments, you develop them for yourself. They don't need to be developed for you. You don't need other people's approval as to, is your belief in something right, or is the way you're doing something right? It doesn't always need to be that. You just need to find your way, what works for you, and that's really all that matters. I think a lot of us, and I'm this guy as well, feel the need to explain ourselves. That if we make changes in life, we then have to explain ourselves as to why. But anyway, it's just my little thoughts for the day. They were just some little random thoughts that I was having today while I'm sitting here, walking through nature, and I'm now going to go and have a coffee somewhere and then come back out here. There's a lovely bigger part of the park over the back there, so I'm going to go over there. But I've got 1 or 2 plans coming up, and I kind of just wanted to share that stuff with you, because I feel that some of the times, some of the things that I reflect on about my life might help you see or reflect on things in your life slightly differently from how you'll currently see them. I think one of the most important things any of us could do really is identify and observe our own mind, our thought patterns, and sometimes zoom out and have a look in. How are we thinking about something? How have we always thought about something? And where could we possibly think about something different? You know, if every single thing in your life was in place, that no matter what you did, no matter how you said it, no matter how you delivered it, where you went, if you knew 100% that it wouldn't fail, remove the voices, what would you look like? Not physically look like, what would you be? How would you feel? You know, I think it's nice to ask those questions in ourselves. But anyway, I hope that was a little bit interesting to some of you guys. I'm going to go because it's just started to rain, which is a shame. But I will be uploading a little bit more from now on, guys. It's getting a bit warmer here, which is lovely. That vicious cold snap over the last 3 weeks seems to have come to an end. That was very, very tough being in the caravan at those times, but I will do a separate video on my experiences of the caravan and during those periods. I wanted to record it all, guys. I was too cold, if I'm honest with you. I was too cold, too tired to record. I had to kind of look after me first. Wow, so many things just come into my head there where I could keep talking for 20 minutes or so. But yeah, anyway, guys, listen, I love every single one of you. I hope you're all well. I hope you all go on to have a lovely day, a lovely week, or whatever else it is you're doing. Hello to all the new subscribers who have come along, which haven't been many over the last few weeks, but then I've not been recording, so that's to be expected. And thank you to all my old subscribers who always show me so much love and loyalty, etc. I hope all you guys are great. And any requests for video, guys, let me know. And that's all I've got to say. And if any of you want a consultation, I have actually got a coaching program that I've wrote now that I'm using out here that is being effective on people. So if any of you want to experience that, then just hook me up in the email that I'll leave in the link below, and then I can let you see that, etc. Okay, guys, I love every single one of you. Take care and peace.